Stock market and emotions going crazy. This has been insane. And a lot of emails have been coming in, specifically this one. This is a good one. It's all about that fear of missing out. It's a big one because people are thinking about jumping in right now. And it's kind of like, are you sure you want to be doing that? Are you? Well, this video, we talk about these emotions, we talk about what's happening and how to deal. Roll it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. This is mentorsapproach.com, where we strive to make a video each and every week to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. So hit that subscribe button. Today we're talking about emotional roller coasters with the fear of missing out. And specifically people who missed out on the big rally and now they're seeing the rally continue, and then they're looking at the news and people are saying, whoa, something's wrong here. There's a bubble, it's gonna burst, and they're in that in-between and they're thinking, hey, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. They don't know what to do, and it's just causing havoc in them. And I mean, everybody is on some form of similar plane when they start to look at everything and they start to wonder what is going on. And yeah, especially if you just have money, lying around, you're wondering if you should. But then other people have money that they saved it up, or they're taking a loan out and they're going, hey, I can take this loan out and put it in and maybe I'll make like an extra 20, 30 grand and before it all comes crashing down. So the questions of these emotional chaotic moments are many, but specifically, I'm going to address one in an email I got sent out. Hi, Nikos. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on if I should start investing now. I'm getting a bug to get going. I finally have some money saved up. However, I keep seeing people talk about the crash and I'm a bit reserved. What do you think? And look, this is a simple answer. What is your risk tolerance? And how does that relate to you and everybody else in your bubble? So what do I mean by that? Well, one, you got to look at this and say to yourself, are you willing to lose what you've saved up? That's the question. When people are feeling reserved and they're worried about doing something, there is some risk. And then the question is, if that risk comes true, are you going to be in regret? And what is that level that you're willing to move forward on so you're not in a regret mode after the fact? So if you say you saved up 10 grand and you're willing to lose 2,000-3,000 to test this out, that's one thing. Are you willing to lose 10 grand? That's another thing, right? And this is where we're at with this thought process. Now, for me personally, I'm not going to be able to advise anybody on whether they should or shouldn't. Like, that's not my place. And it's pretty much nobody's place, really. It's your own decision, but you need to be able to get the right, information in order to do that kind of decision. So that's where I come in with my thoughts on what you should be thinking, how you should be thinking when you're putting all this information together. And how does that really look? And I'm going to relate it back to myself because I was just having a conversation with my buddy about this because I was planning on making this video. And I'm like, oh man, I'm in the same position, except it's a little bit different. And I know this email relates to many people because they're in a similar position, but a little bit different. Mine is a little bit different because I go, why didn't I invest more? And should I invest more? Okay, where yours is, I didn't invest any and now I want to invest. It's a little bit different, yet the same. So let's really put this into context. Step one is really looking at this risk tolerance, asking yourself, what is the risk tolerance? What are you willing to lose? Of that 10,000, say that you saved up, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 50, I don't know, but say it's 10, can you lose half of it? And are you okay with that if you lose it? You're not going to after get all depressed about it and regret that and stop you from investing down the road. This is the most critical idea here. A lot of people are going to lose their money when this thing, takes a downturn. When that will be, how it will be, nobody really knows. Judging by past, well, I think it's going to be very severe. However, we don't know. Nobody knows where this new norm is going to take us to. That's one thing. Okay, and we got to look at that risk tolerance, ask ourselves, what is it? Now, this risk tolerance, however, isn't just like one person. It's not just you. If you have family, if you have kids, if you have other people in your life, it's not just you. So you got to look at that and say to yourself, who's around me and who's affected by the decisions I'm going to make and what's the risk tolerance there. So you might have a high risk tolerance up here, but then you might have a family and kids and you're down here. Maybe you're a business owner. Maybe your risk tolerance up here, but now you have like 5 employees. Okay? This is important when people are sitting there and they're making decisions, they got to remember, are you part of other people's lives, and are you helping feed feed them? Like, can you pay your bills and then cover their expenses too, kind of thing? And, if you're responsible for that, you need to take responsibility for that. And yes, you might not be able to take the risk you could have to make more money. Okay, that's how life goes. You need to look at all that. So whoever's watching this, you got to analyze that. Now, secondly, we look at this and we say to ourselves, well, if I do have this amount of risk tolerance, so you gauge it, okay, you got to look at the market and you got to ask yourself, what is logical that's happening? And look at you're probably going to the news, okay? You're probably looking at the news, the articles, the TV. You're looking at, all the YouTubers that are like, now like you're seeing everybody was talking crazy. Now they're all like in between and they're going, oh my God, I don't know which way to go. And a lot of times YouTubers that are online, they're looking at it and they're going, how do I get more people to watch? And they're not necessarily focused on making sure that you have a good, productive, positive at the end of the day with you investing. They just want to bring to the table the best value they can so that they can increase their views. And they're thinking about it from terms of what's going to happen when this thing crashes. You're not going to see as many YouTubers around after this thing crashes who are right now are all about the stocks. Okay. And I can tell you this right now, there's some people that I was online, they come up to my feed and I'm listening to them and they're all in on some stuff that I'm like, if this thing crashes, you're going to go bust. There's no way some of these companies are going to be where you think they are. However, okay, that is my opinion. Now, at the same time, there are all these rich people, investors, and just rich people that invest. And, you're looking at it and you're saying to yourself, well, why are they hoarding money? What's going on? So we're looking at the logic of that. And we're saying, well, why are they hoarding money and what is going on? Like, why is Elon Musk putting money into Bitcoin? Oh, that's interesting. Let me go research that, figure that out. So these are the kind of questions you want to be asking yourself before you go in, you jump in there, and you're feeling reserved because I think the information there isn't 100%. And you're watching all these people. Now this is like historical. It's proven, okay, by all accounts that what comes up comes down, and we are in for a ride of a lifetime, depending on how things turn out. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying to myself, how long will it go until it drops down? And I'm looking at the information on what's occurring. If it does drop down, where am I moving my money so that I won't have a lot of or a big hit on my investments when this thing goes down? That's what I'm looking for. And I'm saying, you know what, this could go right into 2022 and we'd be, what's going to happen. And, it could just never, like the economy could just rebound back up and we don't, everything adjusts and we don't really have any feelings about what's, this could fail. Now, our emotions or, logically we think, well, okay, it's not going to happen. So there's different scenarios. However, I'm still going to look at it from how do I diversify in case that occurs, so that say you're investing 10 grand, you look at everything, you say, all right, let me take that money that is, I don't want to lose, and put it into something where I know if it dips down, it'll go back up, and then take the other money and risk that money. Simple. And go that route. Now, I've made other videos about this, talking about it and going through that. At the same time, you got to understand what's going to happen when you go into the stock market. Most of the people, which is like, your step 3 and you're looking at all the advice you're getting from people, most of the people are traders or they're investors. If you're looking at traders, they're short term. They're just doing it right now. Where investors are in it for the long haul. And if you're watching people who just trade and you're not watching the investors, you have a little bit of a situation where your information will be skewed in one end or the other. So we got to start looking at it and saying, how about we start focusing on, certain people that are both sides, or they're on different sides, but like from both sides. So we want to look at one side and then we want to look on the other side. And we want to say, from these two sides, what are the general directions that I can take the positives from and get my information that way? Lastly, if you're jumping in there with this and you're going to go just play, I would really, really suggest that you feel confident before you do that. So try out one of those online games where you put your shares in there and you see what happens, and track it for a month before you jump in there. This will help you really look at the results you're getting based on what you would have done with your money. And in this way, you're now looking at more of a realistic approach of how your emotions are going to be, not elevated to the point when your money's on the table, but that's how you're going to feel. Now, when I was younger, I was, day trading, I was like stressed out. I would get up at 4 or 5 in the morning and I would just research all night, and it was just like, I didn't sleep. I didn't do anything. And then I just invested. And I was like, I'm just going to go throw money here, here, here. 2008 happened, and I had the biggest regret of my life because I listened to people. And I listened to the wrong people. And this is the thing of what I'm saying with this, like step 3. It's like, you go find people from both ends and figure out what they're saying, because you might get some bad advice, and then who's at fault? It's still you, not the person that gave you the bad advice. It's the person that followed the advice. It's you. So look at all these. Now, once all of this happens, I would do a list of all the, why are you feeling reserved on moving forward? Make a list and ask yourself, am I addressing and checking off everything? As you go through the month, you'll see, hey, I'm not worried about this, check. I'm not worried about this, check. I'm not worried about this, check. I'm still worried about this, this, and this. Let me go find the information before I go put my money in the stock market and then regret it down the road. These are just simple steps of looking at it and asking yourself, how do I jump in to a situation that's a lot of unknowns and could end up to be very super beneficial for me, or go really wrong. It's very hard. It's not easy. And a lot of people are emailing going, hey, I have this scenario, what would you do? And can we talk about what I should do? And then it's like, we talk about it, and it always comes down to, where's the information? Out of all the conversations I've had, maybe 5% had all the information in their hand. Maybe. Like, this is where we're at. This is a society we live in. We live in a society of information, and nobody has the information they need, because we're just like hit from all this information everywhere. So not to drag on this video any longer, I just feel that if you follow this route, you'll get a more concrete idea of what you should be doing. It'll give you time to understand your emotions, and then you'll be able to make a decision to jump in or not. Now, do you necessarily have to go in with all your money? Well, no. And this is where you got to look at it and say, if I have, say, 10 grand saved up, let me throw in a grand. Let me throw in another grand. Let me throw in another grand in steps and see how everything is going. And then figure out for yourself what you feel is comfortable. Because at risk level, you might not even figure it out. And this is probably the best advice anybody can give somebody in this situation. It's go test the waters. Dip your toe in. If I know that I'm not going to be worried about 3 grand, then who cares? If I know that I can make 5 grand in a month, then who cares? It's 5 grand. It's 1 month of work. Let me go test 5 grand. If it's $500, let me go test 500. There are people that started off with 500 and now they have over 40, 50 grand. They just do $500 in, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh my goodness, I'm making money. Let me throw more money in. And they would work and throw money in. That's it. And then it just went up, 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 up. The question is, are they going to be able to get out in time if something goes wrong? If not, and this thing keeps going, keep doing what you're doing. If it ain't fixed, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's it. All right? My name is Nikos. This is MentorsApproach.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Of course, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment below. Are you in this predicament right now? What are your thoughts? What's your position on it? And leave it in a positive way, because who knows? Somebody might be watching this video. They might read your comment. They might relate. You might help change a life. Don't forget, 2 videos up here. They're going to help you out with your decision making.